Let's see, what can I find? What can I find, honey? Let me lean, 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 let me lean. Child, they keep on playing that. I love gospel music, y'all. Let's see. I used to have a whole playlist. Let me see what I got. Gospel songs, honey. Love gospel music. You know, it's funny. Sometimes when we're younger, we try to run from our upbringing. Or we just, when you're a kid, I mean, you really don't like it, right? You're like, okay, that's old people's music. But you find your way back to your roots. Always find your way back to your roots. I have a whole list, y'all, of stuff. Of music. Trying to find like my very, very favorite. And now I can't. I'll probably have to take some time and look for it. Let me come back to you guys. Oh, good morning. You guys are here already. Okay, good morning, Sherry King Black. Good morning, Daniel. I don't even know why I'm up here. Y'all know I do this. I get up in the mornings, and sometimes if something comes into my spirit, or if I have an experience, I like to come up here and share it. Hey, young Riaz. Good morning, y'all. Thank you. Yeah, very positive vibes this morning. Happy Thursday. Let me see what Sherry King Black says. He says, God, rising, family, positive vibes, conflict resolution, spiritual enlightenment. Yes, yes, yes. And that's kind of what I'm here to talk about. So here in Charleston, I wasn't even aware, but they were talking about it. First, my coworkers were talking about it last week, and then some patients came in talking about it today. And apparently there has been a rise, and I do know around the holidays, and it starts around, I don't know what it is, about October, honey, but it starts around towards the end of the year. Halloween, I don't know if people know statistically, Halloween is one of the most, tends to be, and it could be due to the parties and stuff like that, the drinking, the alcohol, but it tends to be across the United States one of the most violent days. Isn't that ironic? And then towards the end of the year during the holidays, because keep in mind, a lot of people are drinking, they're partying, there's parties everywhere. So I have no doubt that this is obviously an influence. But anyway, within 2 weeks, and I think one of the girls at my job said about 6 months ago, someone jumped off of a bridge. So last week, someone jumped over a bridge. And I think a month before that, someone jumped off of the same bridge violently. This particular bridge is the overpass to a very busy freeway. So these people jumped and got hit by cars. I think the last person jumped and got hit by like a semi truck. And I'm not trying to be graphic, but you could imagine bodily fluids and stuff everywhere. They had to shut the whole freeway down. I just wanted to come up here really quickly, give a real quick positive message of it. It's not that bad. It's never that bad. I don't care what you are going through. It is never that bad. I don't care who left you, who walked out of your life, who abandoned you, who hurt you, who whatever, who abused you, who molested you, who touched you, who misused you, who mistreated you, who you know, just completely broke your heart. It's not that bad. It's never that bad. Trust old mahogany, honey. I've been here 45 years and I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot, and it is never that bad. So of course, when they look into the history, a lot of these people are dealing with some type of mental illness, particularly depression. And depression is something I believe most people have gone through some form of depression. The key with depression, because we lose people, right? Things happen. As sure enough as we live and breathe, there's a day that our eyes are going to close and it's not going to open back up. So this is a part of life. And this is, I've talked about this before in the past. This is a part of American society that we definitely should change. I don't know if they ever will. And that is the talking about the communication of death, the respect of one's passing. Because, and I generally believe this, because when you go to other cultures, there's other cultures where it is a moment. It is. It's almost a moment of celebration. They consider it a passing over to good morning, Black Rain, sweetheart. They consider it a transition, if you will. And it is. If you have any type of belief in faith, they say when we pass, or if you're a believer, you have everlasting life. So, we might not be here in the flesh anymore, but our souls, prayerfully will go and be home with our Father, right, in heaven. That's what I believe. I believe that when I pass, I hope to see my loved ones again, but I don't know. But I definitely hope to be with my Father in heaven, and that's what we could all hope for, right? I don't know. People believe different things, but that's what I believe. Y'all know my history. I grew up very much involved in the church as a Christian, but then I converted. I married my son's father. He was an elder, a Hebrew Israelite. And it's still, honestly, the faiths are very similar. There's some differences. Obviously, I, started to follow more, how should I put it, dietary laws and stuff of Jewish folks. And no holiday celebrations and stuff like that. And then after I separated from him, I still held true to this. But we have been divorced for many years, so I've kind of how should I say this? Certain things. I don't want to make this about me, but certain things, I backslid on. But I think everybody does, and it's one of those things. Like I say, don't beat yourself up over it. I don't believe that's one thing I've learned. Do not beat yourself up over anything. If you have made a mistake, accept the mistake, acknowledge the mistake. You have to try to make the mistake right if you can with that person, and then you try to make it. You take it to the Most High, and you let it go. Don't hold on to things. People are holding on to things. They're beating themselves up, and that's why you end up with people in depression. You end up with people feeling like it's never going to get better. It's never going to end. And they feel like they have to end their life. You never have to end your life. It's never worth that. So I thought, hey, MTG TV. Oh, good to see you, sweet pea. I thought that I would just, this is not an exciting live, but it's just something that came in my spirit because there's been a few people committing suicide here locally. We had 2 people jump over a bridge back to back. Into high speeding traffic. And when they looked into the background, a lot of these people suffered from, I guess, an emotional breakdown. And I'm just here to say it's never that bad. You can make it through it, honey. After every storm, don't the sun still come rising up the next day through the clouds? Right? After every storm, it always happens. That's one thing for me, I know is for sure. It's going to come back up. The sun's going to come rising back up. I want to share something with y'all. Let me see if I can share the stream. Let's see. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can find it. I got so many screens up, y'all. I got to stop doing that and exit some of these things out. Okay, Bible verse, a time for everything. So let's see here. Is there any way I can make this better, bigger? Let's see. Can I make it bigger? Okay, I probably could. I'm gonna just read it. I'm gonna just read it to y'all, and maybe y'all can zoom in on it. And let me see if this makes it bigger. I don't even know. No, okay. So I'm gonna just read it to y'all. Let me come back to y'all. Hold on a second. Let's make it a little bit bigger for y'all to see. For my new people, this is something that I started my channel off doing because you got people mentioning the time of day that I come up here. For the record, I did this when I first started my channel years ago. I was coming up here 5:30 in the morning, making breakfast for my son before he goes to school, like most mothers do. Me and a girlfriend was just talking about this because the school, well, now it's not so bad, but back in the day, they used to feed our children pure sugar before Michelle Obama did that reform. But basically, I always made my son a hot breakfast. And y'all, as old school mothers, right? I'm looking in the chat, MTG TV. Yep. Um, I'm sure you had an old school mother like I did. And old school mothers that did, they don't let their children walk out the house with no cold cereal. They give their children hot food, oatmeal, eggs and grits and stuff in the morning. So this is not something new that she's on live at 5:30. Honey, I've been doing this. I've been trying to teach and educate and motivate people for many years. So I just had to get that out the way for anyone that might be new and watching. This is how I started my channel. And this is also why my channel stayed small for very long, because like we always talk about it, right, y'all? The positive stuff never gets the views, but that's not what I'm about. I'm about spreading a good message from time to time, okay? So let's get to these verses here. Let's go back. So the Bible verse, there is a time for everything and a season for everything. Every activity under the heavens, okay? It's I cannot say that word, y'all. Ecclesiastes 3:1. The verse continues with a list of examples for different activities. And there's a reason I wanted to discuss this, because I'll just use Christianity because a lot of people are Christians. It doesn't matter to me what faith you are, but a lot of people pick and choose things out of the Bible. And so I just wanted to read this because as Christians, even like I remember people pointing certain things out, But let's look at what it says. It says there's a time to be born and there is a time to die. So let's stop right there. There's a time to be born and there is a time to die. It says nothing about taking your own life and making that decision for yourself. You get me? The Most High is in charge. Let the Most High lead you and guide you. Honey, when he is ready to take you, he gonna take you. You don't take that upon yourself. That's the one thing, according to the Bible, that's something that's what they consider an unforgivable sin. And the reason it's considered an unforgivable sin is because you don't give yourself a chance to repent. You can't take it back. Once you're gone, you're gone. Okay? So it's a time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to uproot, honey. And when you read these scriptures, take it, a lot of this stuff you can use. I do it all the time. I try to place these words in my life. A time to plant and a time to uproot. Well, what can that mean? That can mean, well, there's a time to settle down and there's a time to go, honey. It says a time to kill and a time to heal. And there is. Look at David. In the Bible, it says, thou shalt not kill, right? But look at David. David was ordained, right? He fought many wars and he won them. But there's a reason for that, because the Most High was in control and he stood behind David. You know what I'm saying? Through all his faults. And then David also did repent from his sins. So let's go down. It says and there's a time to heal. There's always a time to heal. There's a time to tear down and there's a time to build up. You know, that's something else that I have talked about on this channel and in the spaces. You know, even listening to the conversations about femininity and stuff like that, like, oh my gosh, she's not being feminine. Well, you know what? You're not being very gentlemanly to me. I respect people who respect me. Right? Right, everyone? When someone is respectful to you, you're not going to be disrespectful. But what you have is you have a lot of people online that are very disrespectful. And yet, because you might have a vagina, they feel like, okay, you should respect everybody. No, I respect people who show me respect. That's how this works. It's the same type of thing. This has nothing to do with what's between anybody's legs. Every human being is due respect. So if you're disrespecting me, I am absolutely going to get out of character and disrespect you. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's human. That's called being human, not a robot. You know, and a lot of people that talk this way, they're not in relationships. They've never been in a long-term relationship. That's why they expect possibly the women in their lives to act like robots and never have a bad day. You know, I think I told y'all I was on a panel and the men were saying, and the women were agreeing. They were like, yeah, as a wife, you should always have sex with your husband every single day. And I'm thinking, first of all, I'm sitting there thinking, are you married? Because see, we got to ask the real questions. Are you married? And I looked around and nobody on that panel was married. And then the second thing is, okay, if you are married, are you going to testify that not one day has gone by and you have denied your husband or your wife? Not one day has gone by and you have not felt well. Like, you know, that's what I'm saying. A lot of these people say things and it's just very unrealistic. It's not reality. And then you got to keep in mind of realistic things that happen to people. They happen to both men and women. I tried to have the conversation. I will have the conversation again because I think it's important for people to really understand what it's like to be in a relationship with a human being, not a robot, with a human being. When you're in a relationship with a human being, guess what? They're going to have times where they're not in a great mood. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. So this idea that just because you're married to somebody, that they must, you know, like a robot, perform for you in the bedroom is ridiculous. And it sounds nice when you're 20, when you're 25, maybe when you're 30, until life kicks in, till children kick in, to working 8, 9, 10-hour shifts kick in. Possibly when health problems kick in, maybe a bad back kicks in. You know, life has a way to where, okay, oh shit, this is not necessarily the way I thought this was going to go. And you want to have something more serious than just sex. You want to have an actual bond with a person. Why don't we talk about these when we're having these conversations? The importance of bonding, the importance of intellect in a relationship. If you don't have somebody that you can intellectually talk to, the relationship is not going to last. This is what I need for these conversations to just get a little bit deeper, because oftentimes they're shallow. Now let's move on. There is a time to weep and there is a time to laugh. Absolutely. A time to weep and a time to laugh. We mourn, right, for a short time. This is another one you can relate to. And then there's a time when you have to, i.e., we were talking about depression. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay to feel down sometimes. It's human. You're human. But then there's a time to laugh. You got to pick yourself up, and you got to remember that life is still going on and you are a part of that life. And the Most High wants you to be happy. You are his child and he wants you to laugh. What parent doesn't want to see their child laugh, right? And smile. When my son laughs and smiles, it's the best feeling in the world. Okay. So there's a time to mourn, there's a time to dance, a time to scatter stones, and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain, right? Right? That's a good one. Sometimes you want to, I'll use the example of maybe your children. Your children go off to the military, right? And you want to baby them up. You want to you see your son or your daughter in that uniform and you're like, oh, my baby. But no, they're a grown man, they're a grown woman. It's time to let go, right? So a time to embrace and a time to refrain from that. There's a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, right? A time to keep and a time to throw away. So I just really wanted to go over this with you guys. I'll tell you one more story. I'm not looking at y'all because I'm reading. I'm on a different page reading this. Let me come back to y'all so I can see what y'all are saying. Before I end it, I want to share a story, a very true story. When I was in the service, I was stationed in Korea. I'm holding the mic like I got it plugged in. I don't even have my mic plugged in. But we're about to end. This is very short, not even 30 minutes. But I was stationed in Korea, and I had a soldier up under me because at that time I was squad leader. And I was informed by my platoon sergeant at the time that he was to be watched, that he had cuts. They were keeping it hush hush and private out of respect for him. But he was doing something called cutting himself, where they take razors and they do small incremental cuts on their arms and discriminate places where people can't see. And I went and I was checking on him regularly. I think, I don't know if I had duty that day in the barracks. But I was there and I was checking on him. And I knocked on his door and I told him, hey, I'm going to chow. Do you want to go with me to chow? He was like, no, I'm good. Da, da, da. So I left. Me and a friend left. We went to chow to eat, came back, and I checked on him again just to make sure. I don't know if I checked on him. I was bringing him some food. I went to his room, is all I know. And he didn't answer, but his door was open. And do you know that young man was lying in that tub? Y'all know I'm going to have to bring my friend up here. One of my best friends. It's a guy. We have been friends for years, since our military days, and he remembers. I think he probably remembers this, but I was the one who found the young man in the tub. And he wasn't unconscious, but he was just laying in the tub. And the tub was full of blood. It was red. So I'm freaking out. Y'all could imagine. I'm freaking out. I'm screaming. I'm crying. I'm grabbing him. I'm just loud as hell. Everybody comes running down to the room. I'm trying to, get him up out the tub without looking at him. And I'm just freaking out. Like, what the hell is going on? Finally, they're like, okay, you get out of the room, because a ding-a-ling might come out at you. So I step out of the room. I'm hysterical, because I had never seen anything like that before. I'm hysterical. I'm crying. I'm going crazy in the hallway. Finally, his roommate and some other people, because I'm waiting at this point outside. There's like an open bay room across the hall. And they come over and tell me, he's okay. They're going to take him to, they had some kind of medical thing for us. We were in Kunsan, y'all. Kunsan is in Korea, but it's it's an Air Force base. It's not an Army base. So we had our own little medic site. They rush him off to the medic site. I get called into a meeting with First Sergeant and our acting commander. And they're like, okay, what happened? You're supposed to be watching him. So I'm just a fucking mess. I felt so, long story short, y'all, I didn't get in trouble or anything like that. I mean, there's nothing I could have done. I did what I was supposed to do, which was check on him, watch him, monitor him. But he had things in his room that I didn't know. Of course, after that, they took everything out of his room that could harm him. And he was under serious watch, like serious watch. He could not be alone. The point of this story is, y'all, it's never that bad. I don't give a damn who, what has walked out of your life has hurt you. It is never that bad. Your life, you are the most precious thing in the world. Seriously. There is no one else like you. There is no one else like Young Riaz. There is no one else like MTGV. Black Rain. There's only one y'all. So that makes you the most valuable thing in the world. You are the most unique thing in the world. No, that is not arrogant. That is the truth. And the fact is, you don't have the right to just end your life. The Most High says there's a time to live and there's a time to die. And it's not up to you when that time is. You live and you live the best way you can, and you live as happily as you can, and as healthy and as right and as upright as you can until the day he calls you home. But the point is that you live. All right, you guys have a great morning. I'm going to leave this up. I'm proud to leave this one up. Unfortunately, this is a true story. This is one of the things I've been through when I was in the military. I won't say, I don't know if I got PTSD from that situation. I don't know, but I know it's something that I'll never forget. And I'll probably carry that image with me forever. And it's not a good image. Here, 20 years later, I still think about that kid and I still pray that he's okay. And that he's found a better way to deal with his problems. Y'all have a good one. I might go live today. I took some time off. I'm going to go hang out with a girlfriend. I'm trying to convince her to come on my show, y'all. So if she comes on my show, we might go live. I'm going to go get my mom today. We're going to go do some girl stuff. So peace. I might see you guys later. Bye-bye.